start where we should. Recent political maneuvers, including the nomination of 4 ODM members into President William Ruto's cabinet, appear to be eclipsing recent national conversations about better governance. Conversations on national platforms have gone back to personality-based politics, and as NTV's Ibrahim Karanja reports, the regrouping of the political class is once again threatening the interests of the people.
By the end of July, Kenya will have clocked 6 weeks since the start of a new nationwide conversation thrust to the fore by the Generation Z through the protests that began on June the 18th. So much was at stake, and those in the streets, online and physically, expressly aired their concerns and discontentment in bad governance as they shared their dream for a better Kenya, the Kenya they desire.
Always it takes country to success. So sisi kama young adults wenye tuko karibu kubeba hiyo responsibility. History inatuuma. Juu maparo wetu washakapitia hata wana nguvu ya kukua hapa.
Whatever life I want to have, I want it to be good.
The Kenya National Human Rights Commission is placing at 60 the number of those who died in the 6 weeks of protests, with more still missing, with great fears of deaths or abductions or both. By its second week, so much had been achieved, from the dropping of the Finance Bill 2024 to the dismissal of the cabinet, a feat that not even veteran opposition politicians have achieved in their calls for change. As if that was not enough, Kenyans were, in youth lingo, woke, very aware of what was happening in the different institutions of government. Civic education was happening online in ways that had never been witnessed. The battle for integrity and democracy was at a new level. Through online platforms such as X Spaces, they openly spoke about rampant corruption, arrogance by government officials, insensitive shows of opulence and poor service delivery. In short, they were aware that they needed good governance, better governance in fact, and appeared to know the route to achieving this dream that had for more than 60 years been elusive.
Why are we playing games with the public money, with the money that our mothers and fathers are going through sweat to get it, Mr. President?
President William Ruto felt the heat and had to concede in what some term as uncharacteristic of him. He rejected the Finance Bill of 2024, then dissolved his cabinet, bringing the country to a historic moment, one that is largely attributable to the Gen Z. But now, it seems that moment is being hijacked, with cold metal end of political gun barrels resting on the temples of the historic situation. And it is the same old players back at it, sticking to their usual script, politicking. It seems to be turning into a President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga conversation on the back of their recently rekindled dalliance.
Sisi tulikuwa mrengo tofauti, lakini juzi nimeamua tuachane na mirengo, tuunde serikali moja.
So much so that the recent nomination of 4 of ODM top brass to the cabinet is a new national conversation, drowning out the concerns on the high cost of living, rampant corruption, effective service delivery, and the public debt. However, there are those keeping their eyes on the ball, doing their part to get the train back on track.
The tactics that are being used to infiltrate the movement is what is making people lose interest in it. But I think they're very much into it. But number one is we need to constantly remind ourselves, why did it begin in the first place?
If we tire, we despise the blood of Rex. If we tire, we despise the blood of Shujaa Kennedy, a 12-year-old boy who was shot. If we tire, we are sanctioning that children should be tear-gassed in schools. If we tire and if we lose our momentum, we are enabling a corrupt regime. It is ensuring that all of you who are in queer in pursuit of a better future will never get into a workforce.
And this is not limited to the young Kenyans, but other individuals who do not fall in that category, but are still holding their fingers to the pulse of the issues.
Dialogue seems to have gotten the idea like, what is the share that I get? What's in this for me? No, it's an inclusive discussion, conversation, where I listen to what you have to say really. And when I listen, I make it mine and find how can I find space for what you've told me in my discourse and in my action.
Those in the political class and its ecosystem have been cautious in addressing the matters, lest they find themselves on the wrong side of the bold youth, and some are still speaking in support of the youth.
We cannot kill our people, and the time when we are mourning them, we are looking for officers. That cannot happen.
Many of these leaders' statements are faced by skepticism that they may be riding the wave from the popular side of the ring, even as some of their counterparts increasingly stand with the president and his political journey, with the conversation seeming to be drowning in the usual political noise. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.